Welcome to another episode of Russell Realty Minute with your host, Evan Russell, where Evan shares his real-world real estate experience with you. If you like what you hear, please be sure to give him a quick review right here in iTunes. Thank you for listening.
So if you're listening to the series, the 6 questions are probably at like 8 questions by now. If you're listening to the series and the intro keeps coming up, some people kind of jump into podcasts and they don't listen to the first ones. So I know the intro's on every single one of them, and it might be like, okay, I get it, I heard the intro. But some people who listen to podcasts kind of jump around, don't listen to them in any particular order. So we keep the intro on there, although at some point, if you're listening to it in a row, you're like, okay, I've heard that intro like 10 times. But we want to keep it to the Russell Realty Minute. We want to keep it short. So, all right, brokers, questions that brokers might ask you during an open house, right? Here's we got 2 left, and they're going to be pretty tricky. So if an agent asks you, if you say, okay, agent or host, how much is this house again? Of course, they're going to give you a property flyer or a slick or some brochure of some sort that's going to say on it. But from you, the customer, or the prospective buyer, ask them, right? How much is this house again? And they're going to say, oh, gee, it's $449. You can tell in the flexion of their voice whether they think that price is solid or not. Oh, geez, it's $449. Like, really? Or they say, oh, it's priced aggressively at $449, right? Everything can be. A lot can be taken from the inflection of their voice. Oh, Jesus, $359. Can you believe that? Seller wants $359. Or it could be it's priced aggressively at $359, and we've had a lot of interest, right? So there's a couple different ways. So they're going to turn around and ask you and say, okay, the house is listed for $440. What do you think of the price? And what are you going to say, right? You're not going to say, geez, it's horrible. Gee, it's overpriced. Gee, no way. Man, seller's out of her mind. You're going to say no. You're going to say, well, I'm sure you've pulled some comps, and if we have further interest, we take a look at those comps and see how the house compares to what else is in the area. So make them do a little work. What do you think of the price? Well, I'd love to see some more data that supports the price. Or I'd love to see how you arrived at it. Or I'd love to know the seller's goals, the seller's needs. Right? See where the seller wants to be, and try to get a dialogue going there so you, the client, knows where the agent stands. It's not all about the agent sizing you up. You're certainly going to size up the agent who then represents the seller. So should you intend on later on, which is our final question, I'll just go ahead and give it to you now. Our final question is, are you considering making an offer? Is this a house you'd like to make an offer on? Is this something you want more information on? Is this something that we'd want to follow up with you on? Is this something you have interest? Right? Those questions kind of come 1 and 2 there, and we'll kind of wrap up the series with that. What do you think of the price? Well, I'd like to see the comps that support it. Right? I'd like to see where we came up with. I'd like to see how you've built value in the house. All right? And then the last question is going to be, are you considering making an offer? And that question is, well, let me check with my agent and I'll get back to you. All right? So I hope you guys enjoyed. We might do one more episode here, but we're going to go ahead and pull this one. So what do you think of the price? Not a difficult question.